What? Y'all finally get to see what I look like? What's going on, y'all? I just came on here to say what's up. Hope your day is going well. Hope your day is going well. Is it going good? I hope it's going good. I hope it's going good. So, real briefly, I said on my last live I was going to talk about ancestor altars and hoodoo and how we don't really realize that it's trauma based or that we're perpetuating trauma. Okay, I'm just going to talk about the ancestor altar and then I'll get to hoodoo later. I'm trying to see how to explain this. Okay. When we do our ancestor altars, right, it's for people, it's for the ones that are no longer here physically, correct? And so it came to me the thought came to me. So what happens when the ancestor is reincarnated? Because I've talked to several people who have told me that they can tell when their ancestor or their loved one has reincarnated because they can't, quote unquote, feel them anymore, if that makes sense. Like they can tell like they've come back to this earth plane. So knowing that, who's really helping you on your ancestor altar? If they have reincarnated, if you believe in reincarnation and your ancestor has reincarnated, who are you really getting assistance from on your ancestor altar? Peace and blessings. Yeah, I'm real. This is not AI. So that's if you believe in reincarnation and you have an ancestor altar and you believe that. I've had people tell me, like, I just know that my loved ones have reincarnated. Like, I don't feel them anymore. Hey, everybody. So then who are you honoring on the ancestor altar? If they've already decided to come back on this earth plane and do it again. So are you honoring, are you tapping into the child version of them, the infant version of them, or how I don't know. I guess you would have to look at when the person said they stopped feeling, quote unquote, the presence of their ancestor and they feel like the ancestor has reincarnated. So let's just give an example. Let's say you have this feeling. Stop it, Ginger. Excuse the dog. So let's say you had this feeling like a year ago. Let's say a year ago, you feel like great granddad has reincarnated. You don't feel his spirit anymore, right? So that's a year ago. So we'll say roughly he's about a year old. So what version of great granddad is helping you? Is it the great granddad that you knew? Or is it the reincarnated great granddad who's now a year old? Really a year and 9 months. Because I don't know why we don't account for the 9 months that you're in the womb. But okay, but anyway. So which great granddad are you interacting with? Because now it gets complicated. This is when I start thinking and in my head I'm just going down the rabbit hole, because now I'm like, okay, well technically we're spirit and we never die. So I can be the great granddad that you knew, and I can be the 1-year-old that I reincarnated to. But if we are eternal and you are my great granddad, then I'm always going to know a version of you, even when you reincarnate. See, I'm just going way down this rabbit hole here. Because I think about stuff like that. Like if they reincarnated and you're on my ancestor altar. Hey, everybody. You're on my ancestor altar. Who am I interacting with? Is it the great granddad I knew plus the 1-year-old that you are now? Like if I just discovered a year ago that you reincarnated, so now maybe you're 1 year old. Who am I interacting with? Am I interacting with all of you, the 1-year-old that you now are since you reincarnated? Or am I interacting with the great granddad that I knew you to be? Am I interacting with both? Because parallel universes and quantum physics tells us that we exist in all of these different universes. You see how the rabbit hole just gets deeper and deeper? So when you talk about ancestor altars, it's just like, who am I really interacting with? And do they even know me? If they reincarnated and I'm pulling, because we're all eternal, we're just spirit, according to quantum physics, and science has proven that we're just spirit. So am I now asking this 1-year-old that used to be my great grandfather in this life, but now they're, they used to be my great grandfather as I knew him to be, but now they're 1-year-old with a whole different family, in a whole different life, they may live in a whole different country. So am I tapping into their energy? Like, are they having deja vu, or are they remembering me and when they were part of my family? I'm telling you, these are the questions that I have. I'm a thinker, y'all. These are the questions that I have. Like, who am I interacting with on the ancestor altar? Because I'm going to tell you from personal experience, none of my ancestors, I'm not getting help from any of them. I truly believe that they have all reincarnated. Or I should say this. Some of them have reincarnated. They decided to come back and do it again. And some of them are so low vibrational, I should say, or they need so much elevation that they couldn't help me if they wanted to. Like, really, pretty much all I'm doing is to help them elevate. Is giving them water, giving them food, giving them light, candles, um, saying prayers to them, doing the things in my life that they weren't able to do when they were alive. Like, they really can't help me in real life. I'm doing more for them to help them elevate than they will ever do for me. I believe that my altar, I have went beyond my immediate family or my immediate ancestors. Like, the spirits, the energy that is at my altar is not my immediate bloodline. Like, I've had to tap into the indigenous, the in the astral realm, in different dimensions, deities, ascended masters, because my ancestors don't have the ability to help me. Because it's I got to do too much elevation for them. And we never talk about that side of it when we talk about ancestor work and ancestral altars. We don't talk about that side of it. We just make it seem like, oh, you know, if you were close to them while they were here, you know, they're going to look out for you. But it's no guarantee that they're going to be like that forever. If they decide they want to come back and do this thing again, you don't have access to them like you thought you did, unless we're talking about parallel universes. So unless you are continuously tapping into that version of them that existed as you knew them, then okay, you have a connection to them. But even that is it can be questionable, because how much elevation do you have to do for them to even help you? Like, because in real life, most of my direct immediate bloodline were Christians. So what they gonna do for me? In real life, what are they going to do for me? Now, the thing I think that they can do for me is, when I study the Bible, they can give me a different revelation of the Bible, or meaning or interpretation of the Bible, than what I've been hearing or been exposed to. But that's about it. If I'm the first person in my family to openly pursue hoodoo, alchemy, if you want to call it witchcraft or whatever you want to call it, if I'm the first person, metaphysics, divination, if I'm the first person to do this openly in my family, how are they going to help me when they believed in Jesus? Shoot, they happy that I'm learning something new so I can elevate them. And I know that sounds so controversial when we're talking about ancestor work and ancestral altars, but this is the things that have come to me. Like, what are we doing? Yes, our ancestors are our first line. Our immediate ancestors are our first line of defense. They are. But what we don't talk about is that you may be They may be getting more out of the relationship because you're elevating than you are getting out of the relationship with them. You may be giving more to them than what they're giving to you. And I haven't heard anyone say it or explain it in that way. I don't know if they never thought of it, but it's but yeah, that's it. I'm not going to get into the hoodoo part, but especially if you're the first in your family to embrace the concept of ancestral work and altars, I can pretty much safely say you're doing more for them than they are doing for you. And if you believe in reincarnation, once they reincarnate, who are you really tapping into? Because it's a version of them that now exists somewhere else that's not even connected to you. I mean, technically we are all one, and we're just spirit. We are all just emanations of God, source. We're just a representation of source in human form. But just for context, for what I'm saying here is that, like, do you continue to interact with them when they reincarnate? Are they still going to help you? Or are they now responsible for helping their family, the new family that they're with? Are they still responsible for helping you? Like, are there split personalities here? Like, have they reincarnated and they're a child or an adult living somewhere else, but yet they can they hear you? Can they hear you asking for help with a certain situation if they've already reincarnated, and are they obligated to help you? Now that they have reincarnated and decided to do something different and chosen a different mission, a different assignment, a different family, a different demographic, are they responsible for helping you? Do they even remember that they were part of your family? Do they even remember that? I'm telling you, I be going down a rabbit hole, y'all. Like, do they even remember that? And are they obligated to help you? When they reincarnate and they have taken on a different assignment with totally different people. So when you're calling the names of, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your sibling, your brother, your sister, your grandparents, are they even still in that realm, or have they come back to this earth realm as a totally different person, a totally different gender? Shoot, I might know great grandpa, and great grandpa cannot be a woman. Who really is helping you on these ancestor altars? If we look at the concepts of reincarnation, if we look at the concepts of quantum physics and parallel universes, it's just something to think about. And I've been thinking about it. And I think that there are levels. I'm starting to believe that there are levels that when you start doing the altar work, the ancestor altar work, I think what you're doing is you're helping your immediate bloodline to elevate, and maybe even depending on how long you've been doing the ancestral work, it could go back 5, 10 generations back. I think you're helping them, and once they elevate, they're not there anymore. You now have graduated to a different level of interaction with entities and spirit guides and deities. And it's like you'll know it, you'll feel it. It won't feel the same. Like even in African culture, when a person dies, they don't immediately put them on the altar. From what I have learned, they wait a year. They wait a year because they say it takes a year for the person or their spirit to first even, you got to get used to the fact that you're in a different body, or you're in a different state of being, not a body, but you're a different state of being energetically, and that you are in a different place, a different dimension, just a different place, a different environment. And then whatever things that you have to be cleared of or cleansed of or elevated from, like in African culture, just because you die, you are not immediately an ancestor. You are not immediately put on the altar. It takes a year. And then even after that, they have to go through processes. They have to do certain ceremonies and certain rituals before you're even allowed to be on the altar. But my question is, do you stay on the altar forever? Or do you eventually elevate? Because remember, we're all about growth, right? We're supposed to be growing, evolving. So do you stay on the altar forever, or do you elevate? And then who replaces you? I mean, clearly, someone is dying every day, and clearly the altar will never be empty because people die every day. But what happens when they elevate and maybe no one dies in your family for 5 or 10, 15 years? Who's on the altar then? Something to think about. Because I got questions. I got questions. And hopefully somebody got some answers. But the next video I'll talk about hoodoo. How we don't realize we're really perpetuating the cycle of trauma with hoodoo in the Western world. And to pay attention how we haven't elevated our work with hoodoo. We still use it in the same way that our ancestors used it, which was for resistance, for rebellion, I won't even say rebellion, for resistance, to overcome oppression. And we're still using it in that way. I think we're using it more so to I believe that we're using it to sustain oppression. And take a breath, because that may trigger some people. I believe hoodoo in the Western world has become is being used to sustain oppression. It's not for resistance anymore. It's to sustain oppression. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So until next, thank you for everyone who came on, said hello. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Thank you for all my new subscribers, for likes, the shares. Thank you so much. In the next video, we're going to talk about how hoodoo is still being, I won't say still be, is being used to sustain oppression. To sustain oppression. It's not here to resist it, to overcome it, to alchemize it. It's being used to sustain oppression. And I'll tell you why in the next video. So until next time, stay grateful, stay peaceful, and stay aware.